And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Is Michael Jordan coming back to be the face of the NBA? So I was checking out this clip from Fox Sports Radio, and it was a clip with LeVar Arrington and Jonas Knox, two people I'm not really familiar with. But what caught my attention is the headline of the video was, is Michael Jordan still the face of the NBA? And so I clicked on the video and was listening to some of the points they were making. And the main point they were making, which is very valid, is the fact that Michael Jordan is still who we're comparing everyone to. In 2023, anytime someone shows the potential to be extraordinary, it is Michael Jordan, not LeBron James, not the Duck, the Deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 Kingdom. It is Michael Jordan who we still compare them to. Is this the next Michael Jordan? Oh, we're seeing flashes of Michael Jordan. Of course, every single time they turn out to be false. And it turns out that the media is jumping the gun on these people. But the point still stands, is that it is Michael Jordan's standard that we still hold everybody to. And the reason people keep failing the standard is because the standard is near perfection. And what I mean by near perfection, I mean every facet that you could want, that you could excel in when it comes to the game of basketball, Michael Jordan checks all the boxes. So if you're talking about a great offensive player, check. If you're talking about a great defensive player, check. If you're talking about accountability, check. If you're talking about passing ability, check. If you're talking about a great shooter, check. If you're talking about slasher and finisher at the rim, check. If you're talking about leadership, check. If you're talking about killer mindset, check. If you're talking about having a strong mind and will to overcome not only the rigors of the NBA, the 82 game season, but someone who took pride in playing 82 games, who took the game serious. So, a lot of times we'll see someone, maybe they're athletic, and it's like, oh, maybe he's the next Michael Jordan, but he's severely lacking in the depth of his game, like Anthony Edwards. Or, you might see someone who takes some accountability, but they're severely lacking in other ways. Or, someone's a great offensive player, but can't play defense, maybe have some great flashes of defense, but not great offense. So this is the problem why every time we jump the gun on, oh, is this the next Michael Jordan? This person ultimately can never live up to that standard because the standard is near perfection. However, the point about Michael Jordan still being a standard and still being the name that is brought up, not just only in basketball, but in all sports. People comparing Tom Brady to Michael Jordan. When you think about it, it's really crazy to think about that a guy who played his last game in 2003 in the NBA is still the number one name that people talk about. So, because they were saying, well, hey, it's Michael Jordan who everyone gets compared to, so he's kind of still like the face of the league. I feel like there's some validity to that point. But so today, I was checking out a video from Too Raw for Sports. And Too Raw's video was entitled The Real Reason Michael Jordan is Coming Back. And he talked about various things, but basically his thing was like maybe Michael Jordan is coming back to be the face of the NBA, which again makes a whole lot of sense. And basically what he was saying is that the LeBron James experiment has failed. I got a new name for LeBron James. You LeBron James fanboys, I got a new name for your king. We're going to call him the Laboratory Goat. Your king is the laboratory GOAT because they tried to make this guy in a lab. He's not a naturally grown GOAT. They tried to make him in a lab and it failed. He's like a first generation laboratory GOAT before they have perfected a formula. So, you know, the GOAT came out with 2 heads and 3 arms and deformed and clearly can't function like a real GOAT is supposed to. So yeah, there you go, fanboys. You're welcome. But because the laboratory GOAT experiment was a failure, that this is why they're bringing Michael Jordan back to be someone who represents the NBA in a way that the NBA should be represented. And I think this is actually a fantastic idea. Now, initially when I heard about Michael Jordan coming back to the NBA, I thought, okay, well, that's great because I'm going to love to hear what Michael Jordan has to say, but I'm not necessarily sure that is going to have an effect on the status of the sport. Like, I'm not sure it's going to make the players play harder. I'm not sure it's going to make Adam Silver try to actually fix the problems that's wrong with the NBA. It's just going to be good to hear from Jordan and hear somebody who actually has high basketball IQ talk about the game. That's going to be nice. But thinking about it from the standpoint of Michael Jordan being the face of the league, this could change everything, people. This could change everything. Because if Michael Jordan is the face of the league, the guy who's representing the league, that means Michael Jordan's going to be putting out a standard that the rest of the league feels compelled to measure up to, that Adam Silver feels compelled to try to live up to, because the world knows Michael Jordan. The world knows the standard of Michael Jordan. And if Michael Jordan is out here, you know, telling people what needs to be better in the NBA, if Michael Jordan is out here telling people, and you know his opinion is going to be highly regarded and highly respected, then this could be the beginning of a slow process, what I believe, but of a slow process of the NBA slowly getting better. Because I saw something, maybe I saw Dreamers Pro do a video about the fact that Adam Silver was aware of NBC trying to get Michael Jordan to come back. And Adam Silver didn't think it was going to be possible. Matter of fact, we found out that Adam Silver still talks to Michael Jordan. So if Michael Jordan is bringing his standard back through his words, through what he has to say, people, this may actually be the beginning of people feeling compelled to try to live up to a standard that the face of the league is setting. Even though he's not in a basketball uniform anymore, no one can deny what he did. No one can deny The Last Dance. And those of us, and most importantly, those of us who grew up during that era, you know, if they see that generation returning to watching the NBA again, which means the numbers will go up, then they will feel more compelled. Because here's the thing. Say what you want about the times that we're living in. Just because something is the norm doesn't mean it is the best. Just because you get used to something doesn't mean that is the best way to do it. And oftentimes, people don't realize what's possible until they see it. So, you know, the same way you watch some of these younger kids reacting to Michael Jordan for the first time, it is great to see, because their mind is blown, because they you know, over and over again, I said this on another video, I do have to give some leniency to the younger generation of the Ducks fans. I got to give some leniency to them, just for the simple fact I realize from watching the videos of some of these young reaction channels, and when they see Michael Jordan, I remember one in particular, I can't remember his name, but he was watching and he said, you know, I used to think people were lying when they told me about Michael Jordan. This is a myth. Like, sure, this can't be real. And when I heard him say that and thought about it, I was like, you know what? I actually can understand, because if you didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan, it would seem like a myth. It would seem like there is no way a player can do everything that you guys are saying that he could do. There is no way one player was doing all that. And then you see these young reaction channels watching the historic Bulls mixtape for the first time, and their mind is blown. And they are saying the same thing today that the media was saying back in the Michael Jordan era, and that is, this guy's not human. They are saying the same thing, reacting to the historic Bulls mixtape or the Voyager video. They are saying the same thing today that we were saying and that the mainstream media was saying back in the 90s when Jordan was at his peak, or even before then, even when he came into the league. They are saying this can't be real. Like, this guy is an alien. This guy can't be human. So I understand, that if you didn't see that, it's hard to believe. And so when you grow up on the duck and you got the media telling you how great he is, it's easy to get sucked into that. So, yeah, like I said, just because you get used to something doesn't mean that you won't recognize what's better. And so, a lot of the younger generation, they who grew up in this generation, all they know is LeBron James and the entitled era. But once they start to be exposed on a regular basis to what real basketball mentality is like, they're gonna start to wake up, and it's going to be a good thing. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Like I said, I thought that's an interesting thought. Shout out to Too Raw for Sports, that maybe Michael Jordan is actually coming back to be the face of the league again. This would be unprecedented that a retired player has to come back to be the face of the league. But that just shows you how far the laboratory goat has drugged the league down. That shows you how much of a disappointment the LeBron James era has been. That shows you how much LeBron James didn't capitalize off the fact that the NBA had a vested interest in trying to make this guy the GOAT. But due to his lack of will and work ethic, and due to his entitlement and having everything handed to him, he couldn't capitalize on having the most advantages of any NBA superstar in the history of the game. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.